By the end of May, we could have another team lifting that coveted English Premier League trophy.
This might just be the biggest lift for Liverpool. Back on top in England. And for the very first time, the pride of the Premier League.
Like they did in 2020, this Liverpool team could very much become champions of England again. And it's all thanks to a secret weapon Arne Slot is using to gain the advantage over everyone else in the league. Stick with us to find out what exactly that is, and why Arne Slot's Liverpool could very well soon become the future kings of the Premier League. Now, before we go any further, if you love football as much as we do, hit that subscribe button now and join our community for more exclusive content every week. Right, so it's 2 games played and a perfect round for Arne Slot and his Liverpool team so far. It's going according to plan. Taking the coach job off Jurgen Klopp was always going to be hard, but Arne Slot in his few weeks at the club has already started making changes that might very well see the club become potential league champions. The man is a genius. Yeah, I know, it's only been 2 games in, but the tactical setup he employs, he's already fixing issues it took Jurgen years to realise. It's impossible to mention Liverpool without looking at them from an attacking sense, and that's because for years under Klopp, Liverpool was a brutal attacking force. Only one catch. When the goals weren't coming in, you just had that slight feeling that they were one counter away from conceding or dropping points in a game. Arne Slot has come in and taken a more reassured approach. 3 games in, 7 goals and 3 clean sheets. The season opener versus Ipswich Town might have in truth been a second half display. But in the game versus Brentford, Liverpool controlled and was by far the better team. It wasn't just attacking football like it had been under Klopp. As a unit, they were brilliant. In the 3rd game of the season against Manchester United, they literally blew United away. United didn't stand a chance against this new-look Liverpool side. Within a few weeks, Slot's stamp on this team is well evident compared to a United team that had their manager over 2 years, and still, no one had a clue how they are trying to play. Arne Slot's tactical formation is a bit of everything really. On paper, it's set up as a 4-2-3-1, ditching the previous 4-3-3 Klopp used for years at the club. But in game, it's hard for the opposition to even define what the system is. While the centre-backs mainly stay in and around their zonal areas, and the full-backs invert, every other player has the licence to interchange with others and make the game hard for the opposition. It's got this one down to a T, and it's working too. When Liverpool used to press under Klopp, it was all in without regarding the consequences. The front 3 went directly to press the opposition back line. The midfield followed just behind in the press, and one of 2 things always happened. Either they won the ball back and started another attack, or they got counter-pressed in instances like this. Simply put, they looked open in attack. Pretty soon, teams began to understand how to go on and about against Liverpool and Klopp. It's not the same with Arne Slot though. His controlled approach offers a more dynamic method of pressing. Operating in a 4-4-2 system in attack, which quickly at times turns into a 4-2-4 in certain attacks. The front 2 of the centre forward and a wide player will look to make inward curve runs in pressing the centre backs, and the midfield stays locked in to counter any possible passing lanes. And by doing so, the opposition is forced to go long, and most times concede possession. This largely restricts counter-attacking possibilities. Liverpool look a lot more compact and solid, and hey, if you're scoring goals and keeping clean sheets, then it's a win-win. I'll get back to the tactics in a minute, but I'm trying to look at Slot in Premier League terms here. A lot was made of his transfer activity in the summer window, or the lack of it perhaps, and how he'd failed to strengthen the squad that just fell off the title race with a couple of games to the end of last season. But the truth is, it's quite the opposite. He's done a proper job at restructuring the team. On one hand, the headlines read how Liverpool spend the least amount on transfers among Premier League clubs. But the truth is, they only spend that low because they didn't need to. Look at the players who have departed the club this summer. Out of them, the only player with over 1,000 minutes of action last season was Joel Matip. who often interchanged with Ibrahima Konate before rupturing his ACL versus Spurs. The point is, every other player who's left at the club this season didn't exactly play a starring role in the previous one. The likes of Cade Gordon, Owen Beck, Nathaniel Phillips, Stefan Bajcetic, Ben Doak and Marcelo Pitaluka. All these players who went on loan this window are players that at best wouldn't have got minutes in cup matches. The same applies with the major outgoings too. Fabio Carvalho, a talented player who never really cemented his place in the first team, as much of a talent as he is. Thiago Alcantara is an incredible player, always has been throughout his career, but the reoccurring injuries he suffered effectively ended his career. Bobby Clark joined RB Salzburg permanently. Look at the players gone, and there's no one that really screams the need for an urgent replacement. Could make an argument for Joel Matip, but in his stead, the emergence of Jarrell Quansah couldn't have come at a better time. Not only has he looked assured most times he's played for the Reds, he's also a decent option to build on and work around in the future. Two players did come in this window though. Georgi Mamardashvili from Valencia in a deal that becomes permanent next season, and $16.5 million signing Federico Chiesa. You're probably wondering how these guys strengthen the Liverpool squad like I mentioned earlier. I'll tell you in a couple of seconds, but before that, see that subscribe button down below, the one that you're looking at right now. You need to click it so you can get exclusive updates on the latest Matchday 365 releases. Yeah, back to Liverpool signings now, and taking a closer look at it, they're both genius signings. Starting with Federico Chiesa, ranking the dribble success rate among Serie A winger, who averaged at least 7 dribbles per 90 last season. Federico Chiesa comes in third with a 51.06% rate behind Rafael Leao and Kavica Kvaratskhelia. To put this into a Liverpool context, no Liverpool player averaged that number of 7 dribbles per 90. The best dribbler last season was Luis Diaz, who averaged 5 dribbles per 90. Liverpool with Chiesa have added a new dimension to the attack, considering the fact that he can play anywhere across the front three. It's an excellent addition, and the fee of $16.5 million feels like a steal. Georgi Mamardashvili is one for the future, an excellent shot stopper as he showed at the Euros. Mamardashvili's 21 saves in the 3 group stage games were the joint most of any goalkeepers in the tournament's history. With Alisson Becker's contract at Liverpool reaching the final year, if the club can't find a suitable agreement, then they've got 2 options in Mamardashvili and Queven Kelleher. Now, I did say I'd go back to the tactics, and we're here again. Compared to other teams in the league, Liverpool looks very solid. In defence, they seem to have tidied up at the back, and that's because Slot has a formation set up in place to snuff out the opposition attacks. Now, when Liverpool plays against teams they're expected to beat, teams that sit back and invite the pressure, the threat is always going to be on the counter-attack, as was seen in the games versus Ipswich Town and Brentford. The thing is though, these are only going to be one-off chances. They won't happen as frequently as they did under Klopp, and that's because of the way Liverpool is set up. The centre-backs, when facing weaker opposition, press up high with the sweeper goalie in Alisson advancing to make it an unconventional back three, if you like. He provides the extra pass or get out of jail card and launches the attack again. When they play against teams who will come at them and press high, there's a system in place to fix that as well. The centre-backs are joined by one of the full-backs and another one of the centre midfielders to overload into a 5 at the back. The key with this is when one full-back drops, the other one stays free. Slot employs this system to always have an extra passing lane and the option to attack. Of course, I've got to go back to the attack again, because it's Liverpool. With the players they've got, Liverpool is guaranteed to score goals. They always do. While it might not exactly be the free-scoring approach as it was under Klopp, the goals will come under Slot, albeit with a measured approach now. But you just get the general feeling that once the players fully adapt to this approach, they'll be firing on all cylinders. Key to his attack is his zonal structure, or zone 14 if you like. The idea behind this is that during the game, the pitch is usually divided into zones of 18, and for Slot, the 14th zone, which is the area just behind the penalty box, is key for him. Why? Well, it's like this. Under Klopp, Liverpool's attacking play came predominantly from the wings, and rightly so. I mean, they had players like Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mohamed Salah on the right, Sadio Mane and Andy Robertson on the left, buckled up in that position, and created loads of chance. The problem for Slot though is that he believes there's a lesser chance of scoring goals from crosses out wide, and that's where zone 14 comes in. By overloading that area down the middle, what Slot does is create open space and multiple lanes for the team to attack. What this also means is that the wingers are left out wide, and most of the time when they get the ball, a cut back will more often not be the best option, because of the numbers they've got in there. As Manchester City has shown in the past, the smallest details make all the difference, and it seems very much so that Arne Slot understands this. Making Liverpool champions again will be no easy task, especially with the likes of Arsenal stepping up in the title race. But with the changes he's implementing in the team, Slot's idea of attacking with control and defending with control puts Liverpool in a position where if they can maintain the agenda, they could well be top of the pile at the end of the season. He passed his first major test by wiping the floor with United at Old Trafford, and this team is only going to get better as it starts to play more slot ball as the season goes on. Obviously, it'll be weird to compare the Dutch Eredivisie to the Premier League in terms of quality and the teams involved, but Slot's achievements have taken Feyenoord from a 9th place finish to champions and the Dutch top flight shouldn't be overlooked. The man knows what he's doing, and if all goes according to plan, Liverpool will be Premier League champions at the end of the season. So what do you think? Teams like Manchester City and Arsenal can stop Liverpool from winning the league? Let us know in the comments down below, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for even more content like this. See you next time.